We are audiostack.ai.
Combining AI writing, the best synthetic voices,
with production and delivery.
Be it ads, podcasts, or VOs for video.
Just like this ad. How would you utilize AI audio? For free.
Go to audiostack.ai/contest.
Give us just a few details.
And you could replace this spot and be heard by millions.
See webpage for T's and C's. audiostack.ai/contest.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Welcome to another episode of Crazy Fitness Guy's Healthy Living Podcast. Today is a special bonus episode for the week of for the month of February. Gee, I can't believe I almost said a week. That would be a really short month. Anyway, because it's a bonus episode, I hope you guys share this with all your family members, friends, and everyone else. And please review it, give me feedback. It all appreciated. And let's just dive into this. So I have my friend here, Dina, who's an autism advocate. She was also on my podcast last year. One of the episodes we talked about bullying.
Yeah, bullying.
Today, we're going to talk about the movie Music that just came out and is getting 2 nominations for the Golden Globes. And we both think that it's totally absurd because this movie has gotten 1,000 bad reviews. I kid you not. Just Google it and you'll see for yourself. So, Dina, we both haven't seen the movie, but just by doing our research and everything, what are your thoughts about this horrific movie?
Well, first of all, I think it's very old school what they're talking about. In today's world, people on the spectrum are treated more like human beings instead of like animals or people with mental illness. And so a long time ago, autism was placed in the mental illness category. And so a lot of people were restrained, and you're finding that a lot of people are getting sued for these things. That's the only fact. I know that I have anxiety disorders, and, so they used restraints on people with anxiety, and, our friends didn't understand. Today we live in of course, we're still not there, but I feel that, in some hospitals, like the state hospitals, there's a lot of lawsuits against restraining, and to promote such a movie and relate it with autism, it's not so much absurd, but it's unkind, and there's a lot of bruises, and it's sad because the trauma that was used.
Well, here's another question for you. And if you don't feel comfortable answering it, have you ever been restrained before?
Yes, I've been restrained before. I was around college age, so I have proof. I was, I'm at that age, it's a very scary thing. Nobody was helping me, and I felt lost because autism is a very lonely disorder, and I was diagnosed 3 or 4 times, and then I had the first written test that was ever given. So that's why I can relate. I have people who made a movie about me, and they wanted to talk about a person who had a full life, who had a lot of friends growing up, who had a pretty decent life. And then when I started to age out of the system, I had some social problems in college, and I was depressed. And I ended up in a hospital for 24 hours, and they wouldn't let me use the bathroom. And then they grabbed me with both of my arms, put them behind my back, and threw me to the floor. And that's why I can relate.
I can relate to it too, because back in, believe it was elementary school, they put my arms behind my back as well. And
Really?
I had marks on my arms, had not permanent marks, but it was there for like a few hours or maybe a day at least. I kind of, at first I didn't remember exactly everything, but then when my mom told me about it, it brought some memories for me. I am what you call an indie podcaster. If I run out of money, there's nobody backing Crazy Fitness Guy. How you can support Crazy Fitness Guy is becoming a premium subscriber to Crazy Fitness Guy Premium Podcast. Our first plan is called Load Crazy. You'll get 100% ad-free content with 0 sponsorships and 0 commercials. The second plan we have is called Crazy. For $3.99 a month, you get access to the full episodes for the full library archives, early access to the shows. All episodes are ad-free, shout-outs on the show, and you will be helping support our mission, and all the episodes are unedited. For the next plan, if you go year-long for $30 a year, the Extremely Crazy, you'll get everything in the Crazy plan, plus you'll get access to exclusive members' private Facebook group, and bonus ask me about anything episodes, and you get to suggest topics for the show in the Facebook group. So if you want to help support Crazy Fitness Guy, there's 3 plans starting at $2.99 a month, going up to $30 a year. So it's $2.99. The next plan is up is $3.99, and then $30 a year. So thank you for all your support for the years, and I hope I'm looking forward to continue making content just for you. Thank you. To become a premium podcast subscriber, click the links in the show notes and see which plan is right for you. Thanks to our sponsor to make this podcast happen. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make podcasts. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listeners. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes to set up. It's simple, easy, and the best part, it's free. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today to just create your own podcast.
So you have some pretty potent memories of PTSD, and you're 26 years old.
27.
27.
I'm old.
Yeah, I'm a dinosaur compared to you. So with you, it was worse because they don't use those practices. Even in my day, and this was back in '88, so I just turned 21, and here it was supposed to be one of the best years of my life. I guess, 88. So I had the test done. For my day, that's pretty early. So I was on the Asperger's spectrum, but autism spectrum was PDD. So I was lucky enough to have these diagnoses. But what led to my diagnosis, it was almost a blessing in disguise, was me being put in restraints. This was in a hospital. Nobody was helping me, and it was a cry for help. I had firsthand saw a roommate try to end her life.
So, out of curiosity, did those restraints help you calm down at all, or did they make you really ticked off?
It made me. First of all, I had that flight or fight response with. It made me calm down, but it also made me say, "Oh, good. I found a therapist. Keep it in perspective." But like I was just talking to you about it, and it proves that I could trust you. But what happens is I have so much PTSD going back to then. I'm glad we're talking about this because, I saw a lot of people getting restrained because I started off in a special school, and my mom really knew I could do better. She was like, so they had this thing called the quiet room where they put people in restraints. It was a special school, and I was a good student. So I saw people, and I was kind of embarrassed. And I worked my butt off because all that was available to people like us starting in 78, and I was mainstream before all my...
Forget everything that you know about a web browser, because you will be blown away by Psychic browser. It's no ordinary web browser like Firefox, Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, and all the other web browsers out there. It's based on productivity, and let me just name a few other functionalities that it has. It's very fast. It blocks ads by default. You don't see that with Google Chrome, do you? No. And there's also a sidebar, built-in sidebar, so you can have all your tools and systems all in one place without having to go search and wait for the web page to load. It's just right there with a click of a button. Try Sidekick out below with the link in the show notes and descriptions for more information about Sidekick. It'll boost your productivity probably tenfold, because that's what I use it for, is productivity. Check out Sidekick and tell them I sent you.
Friends were, they didn't. My mother thought, oh, it's going to be like a play group for her in a public school. Sure enough, it was hard work, and I really achieved. I moved out of special ed into learning support, but I started off in a special school where, then I moved away from there into another special school. And
so
before
I got a follow-up question for you. Without having seen the movie Music, and how does it make you feel that in my opinion, the director is saying it's okay to use restraint to calm people on the autism spectrum down? How does that make you feel?
No, it's not. It's only going to make the person worse. I think behavior modification is the way to go, or animal therapy, or, hey, how you feeling right now? It's like you ask, you don't tell. It's
what kind of behavior modifications would you recommend?
In the hospital or
in school or
in school, it's a lot easier. Like in special schools, for example, a point system where you gain points. Get creative with it. Like I went to the
reward system, so to speak.
Yeah, reward system, positive and negative reinforcers. If you do something bad, you lose points, and then for example, if you got all your points, which was 100 points, anywhere from 96 to 100, every day there was a sticker, and that led to big things such as participating in an auction, and that included doing all your work, and the whole idea is some people, a challenging point system. Some schools didn't have the means to do all these things. For example, ordering lunch out in a day, that was like kind of old school. Now it's like computer time.
Well, when I was growing up, my parents gave me some kind of a reward system. Like, for instance, and my school did it too. If I forget how they were set up, but after doing a certain amount of tasks that were good, etc., or homework tasks, etc., I get free time or something like that. I don't remember all the specifics because I was really young. I don't, or maybe I just kind of got that out of my memory because it was around the time when my parents told them to stop. It's not a great idea to use restraint, and maybe I just kind of got it out of my head and kind of just like, let's put that somewhere else.
It's interesting. I was never restrained in school, so the fact is, when I ended up, I was never restrained in school because I was basically a good kid. I just had learning disabilities, but
I was the opposite of a good kid.
Well, the thing is, we had in the summit school that I went to, where I had known my husband, actually, they had a point system, and some people had separate points because their behavior was wrong. And I did see in a school before that, it was really bad. I moved to the summit school, was based on a Montessori approach, except it was special needs. So they had your Montessori stuff, like your practical life, your washing dishes, your cooking, and all that fun stuff. But then they had your art class, which I liked. But I remember they had 2 recesses for one, which was great.
My school didn't have that. Hey, I got cheated out of a childhood. What?
Yeah, we had these 2 recesses, and unfortunately, they took away points for free time for recess, which I really think that that's even wrong because kids need to run around. So the outside recess, unfortunately, we're older now, but I think that's important. And then they're going to end up being restrained because kids who have ADHD or whatever are going to, have this burned up energy. But also, I believe, I remember this one teacher had, if you got I was always up there like a 96 or 100. And, the end of the day, you got candy and.
I am what you call an indie podcaster. If I run out of money, there's nobody backing Crazy Fitness Guy. How you can support Crazy Fitness Guy is becoming a premium subscriber to Crazy Fitness Guy Premium Podcast. Our first plan is called Low Crazy. You'll get 100% ad-free content with 0 sponsorships and 0 commercials. The second plan we have is called Crazy. For $3.99 a month, you get access to the full episodes for the full library archives, early access to the shows. All episodes are ad-free, shout-outs on the show, and you will be helping support our mission and all the episodes are unedited. For the next plan, if you go year long for $30 a year, the extremely crazy, you get everything in the crazy plan, plus you'll get access to exclusive members' private Facebook group, and bonus ask me about anything episodes, and you get to suggest topics for the show in the Facebook group. So if you want to help support Crazy Fitness Guy, there's 3 plans starting at $2.99 a month, going up to $30 a year. So it's $2.99. The next plan is up is $3.99, and then $30 a year. So thank you for all your support for the years, and I'm looking forward to continue making content just for you. Thank you. To become a premium podcast subscriber, click the links in the show notes and see which plan is right for you.
Like a soda. My mom wasn't too crazy about that because it's like, hyperactivity, or they started like giving people granola bars because of hyperactivity. But at the end, one of the things was Friday Talks, and it had things like being attentive in class, finishing your work, keeping your hands to yourself, and like being kind, being responsible, paying attention. And then you got the stickers, and like if you got like all 10, then you got like a trophy, you got to be the star of the week, and everybody got these privileges. And then one of the things was an auction, or you had these money chips, and you got to buy things at the school store. So these are alternatives these are happy alternatives that really keep people motivated. And the goal, some people fight the challenge, I prided myself when I became a teacher, I wasn't going to be their friend because, of course you want people to like you, but the fact is, are they learning? It's the same thing with a therapist or a person in a hospital. I don't understand that restraining is going to make you hate them, so why do it? So
I got another question for you. I probably have told you this in a few Facebook messages, but when I read about the movie Music, the actor who played the autistic character in the movie, they were not even autistic themselves. What are your thoughts of this?
Well, it's very common that this happens. Do
you think it's right?
Common. For me to say that is kind of hard because I watched several shows with an actor playing someone. For example, The Good Doctor, Freddie Highmore is not autistic, but he plays a doctor, and that's a very good show because it shows that he's going beyond his means, because the truth is, from 100% to 70%, there's about 75, which is more than 50, 75% people are autistic. There are autistic engineers, and it's most people with autism are brilliant and they're portraying it good. And then Parenthood, for example, Max Brookholder played young Max Braverman, who got diagnosed with Asperger's. And I would have sworn, if I didn't know any better at first, and then it was a privilege to find out at Sundance that he was going to be there. And I found out that they had a son. He had to learn how to walk, I know it sounds like kind of like derogatory, but yes, it happens. So that question is that for him to play for this character in Music, to play somebody who's being restrained, I know what you're talking about. So it's not a bad idea, but it's not completely a good idea, because it's a very, maybe See, it goes back and forth with me. There's no like I think, there's no major opinion. It's kind of like it can go either way.
Well,
I mean,
do you think, but can you see, like, could you, in your opinion, do you think well, maybe not in your opinion, but like, I've seen people who from the autism community talk about this movie, and they said that one of the biggest turnoffs for them was that the person wasn't autistic. For me, I would have to say that doesn't really bother me as much, but the restraint part bothered me, and just the director's negative view of autism bothered me. And
yeah,
I would never buy a movie ticket to a director who has such high, strong opinions about that. And the director also said that autism needs to be fixed. Do you think it needs to be fixed?
Absolutely not. I think it's not like the person's broken. It's a neurological disorder. That's like saying that diabetes has to be fixed or cancer has to be fixed.
Well, cancer I could see needs to be fixed.
Well, cancer is a horrible disease, but unfortunately we have no cure. And
it's getting closer, though.
Yeah, they're getting closer. But see, this is a person that's speaking from the heart. For example,
I understand.
Autism is just like a learning disability. You learn to overcompensate you learn to compensate one part of the brain that doesn't have as much neurological, wires in it. The creative side compensates for, we all have things like whether I like it or not, I'm neurologically impaired. So the whole idea was I was taught a whole bunch of things by going to school. When my mother heard about restraints going on in that one school, I went to.
We are audiostack.ai.
Combining AI writing, the best synthetic voices,
with production and delivery.
Be it ads, podcasts, or VOs for video.
Just like this ad. How would you utilize AI audio? For free.
Go to audiostack.ai/contest.
Give us just a few details.
And you could replace this spot and be heard by millions.
See webpage for T's and C's. audiostack.ai/contest.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
I was in kindergarten and there 2 weeks and got pulled out. Then, so that was the first time. I was sitting in a doll corner, not speaking that much at the time. And so this teacher who had no training called a nurse in who had no training with special needs. And they told me that they were tired of doing this. So I went to the Montessori school where they didn't believe in that. It was all behavior modification. And so the whole idea is then come back to later on, a 21-year-old adult, who gives them the right? Secondly, that you're never going to fix autism, because people have asked me on panels.
DNA.
What?
It's DNA. It's in our DNA.
Yeah, well, not
changing that.
But here's another thing to tell you that scientists don't even know, because you can't fix Down syndrome. It's an extra chromosome. So, somebody said to me, can you get rid of it? Can you get some kind of an operation? And it really bothered me because it's been a part of me for so long. I was really, I think that, my mom did something really good, and she had a family meeting, and I don't remember it, but like, I think I was like 6 years old, 7 years old, till my sister was 4. We had these family meetings, not that we did it all the time, but one time my mom said, well, this is your sister. You have to be nice and be patient. Her brain works less than yours. It's not her fault. So the whole idea was, with any kind of learning disability, it's neurological. It's all about compensating. It's frustrating because teachers get burned out because they think that they can have 100 good kids, and maybe you can only maybe one makes progress. Maybe you can only raise the bar so far. There was somebody that said, don't ever raise the bar for your daughter because she's not going to go far. And I finished college. I've been on my own since I was 19. And, as techno idiot as I feel, I'm kidding there, mind you, but this technology is not my thing because I'm old school at 53 and you're younger.
I didn't say I love technology. I have a love-hate relationship with it.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, some days I love it and it works perfectly when it agrees with me, but when I'm having a bad day and it doesn't work, sometimes I can, so the whole idea is because I'm neurologically impaired and it's not my thing, but you give me a pad and a pencil and I'll be able to put together a story for you. So we're all good at certain things. So what happens in this movie, it seems that they're lumping all autistic people together and stating that they can fix us. And
by using restraint.
Yeah, by using restraint. So, that's why I really don't like the message it's sending out. But Dan Sickles, who made my film, had said that we're not these raving reporters that are going to jump in there and say, oh, I got to get a juicy story out for Dina. I mean, yeah, they're
I feel like they were grasping at straws with this movie, like because of the pandemic, they didn't have enough movies to review. So there's like, oh, you know what, we're going to give this movie 2 nominations for 2 Golden Globe Awards. I'm like, that's a stretch. You know what they put this movie under? In the Golden Globes, music/comedy. Do you see any comedy bits in this movie? Because I haven't.
No, I see it as insult. I see it as insulting. I see it as insulting to a person like myself who even went out to teach people like me, because I saw what Ed Sickles did. That's Dan Sickles' father, who was a self-proclaimed advocate. And I used to say to my mom, hey, if Ed Sickles has a learning disability, which was dyslexia, by the way, and he graduated with a bachelor's and a master's degree, I can certainly be him. And then I found my way to other things. Like I'm an autism peer specialist, and that's exactly what I'm an autism specialist. So I specialized in being a friend first. So it's like under a therapist.
Yeah.
And like, so the whole idea was a lot of people end up in the mental health system, like myself, from the traumas. I mean, I have PTSD from the way I was treated, but also so with other movies, Dan had made a very good point. He said that people would came to him and said, oh, look, they have friends. And Dan was like, oh, no shit. That was his response. Like, oh, these people, they have friends. These people, like someone said, look, they have a really big social life.
Are you stuck with and you don't know what to do for dinner? Well, let me tell you about this awesome, amazing company called Eat Clean Bro. You get healthy recipes delivered right to your door. They're fresh. they're cooked for you, and all you have to do is heat it up in a microwave or oven. It's simple, quick and easy, affordable, and each meal is delicious. I found them through Tiger Schulman's Karate, and I joined them and partnered with them because I think you will like them too. And I absolutely love their meals. They're fresh, authentic, and it's all around great food that you normally think, oh gee, I think this would take hours to cook, but they already took out all the cooking for you. All you have to do is heat it up in the microwave. How simple is that? Or the stove, or the oven. So go check out Eat Clean Bro in the links in the show notes for more information about them. Do you like Crazy Fitness Guy and want us to stay in business? Consider becoming a subscriber to Crazy Fitness Guy Premium Podcast. By becoming a Premium Podcast subscriber, you will be helping support our mission, which is to help educate people about autism and change their perspective so that they can look at it as a unique gift instead of a disease that needs to be cured. At Crazy Fitness Guy, there is only me, aka Jimmy Clare. I am what you call an indie podcaster, meaning there is no company backing Crazy Fitness Guy. So in other words, if I run out of money, there will be no more CrazyFitnessGuy.com. By becoming a premium podcast subscriber, you will get these exclusive benefits like ad-free content, so you do not have to listen to ads like this one anymore. Behind the scenes access. You will get sneak peek previews of upcoming shows, and you will get early access to episodes before it's released worldwide. Crazy Fitness Guy's Premium Podcast has been featured over 9+ countries around the world. So just think about that. If you like these exclusive benefits, go to crazyfitnessguy.com/support for more information. I hope you will consider supporting me and Crazy Fitness Guy for years to come. Thank you for your generous support over the years. It means a lot to me. Thank you. The internet can be a distraction place. It's full of distractions like social media, shopping, and so many more websites that are very distracting, just like video games and whatnot. But it is all over the place. So much noise going on. Well, with a blocker tool like Freedom Blocker, it can block all those distraction websites that you find distracting. I block RuneScape, Facebook, Twitter, and all the social media marketing tools. Without Freedom Blocker, I wouldn't be able to run CrazyFitnessGuy.com because I'd be distracted all day long. But thanks to them, so I'm no longer distracted. Go to visit the web link in the show notes for more information about Freedom Blocker, for more information about what they do, what they are, and whatnot. And you can, and the best part about Freedom Blocker, you can use it on all of your devices: Apple, Windows, Macs, tablets, and more. Visit them to learn more information.
This was somebody in one of the there were some people, he showed it to a bunch of people. I think I was at the Q&A, and then we were on with a college, a bunch of professors, and they were like, like somebody had said, most people thought it was amazing. They had felt the same dreams and hopes that me and Scott had felt as two autistic individuals. They thought it was great that Scott and I were setting this new trend. Before Scott, I had a pretty big life, but
so just one more question before we wrap up. Do you think, I'm just going to list off the rest of what the movie is about real quick before I get to the question. So because of this movie has a negative view of autism that it needs to be fixed, and there's no fix in sight, and they've been trying to work on a fix for many, many years and still hasn't gone anywhere. Two, it uses restraint in the movie, and their message is it's okay to use restraint with people on the autism spectrum. It has 1,000 bad reviews, and it's under a category that I don't really think it belongs under this category. Now, to be fair to it, I haven't seen it, or you have, and you haven't seen it. Perhaps it might have really good music well, that sounds redundant, but in the movie music, and perhaps maybe it does really have good music, but I don't like their message. But what I want to ask, do you feel that in your opinion, would you see this movie based on just the bad message, the bad reviews, and do you think it deserves 2 Golden Globe nominations?
Me personally, I don't think it, because of the way that I feel about it, I have to say no. Would I see this movie? I don't think so, as much as part of me wanted to take a peek into what it might look like.
I even had some people said to me in my family that some people suggested, hey, maybe you want to just watch it to learn more and research it. But I don't, in my opinion, and maybe you feel the same way as well, I don't want to buy a movie ticket. There's no movie theaters are open at the moment anyway, and if they are, that's news to me. I mean, at least the ones near where I am, there's nothing.
They just advertised Tom and Jerry, which I'm dying to see. It's a cartoon.
I would like to see that movie.
I like animation, and I used to watch it when I was a kid about, the cat and the mouse, and they're supposed to give them a voice, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, me too. But anyway,
these were silent. They were silent, and they were so funny because they both had a voice in silence, and now they're getting a voice. And Tom is going to be the aggressor, and Jerry's going to be the kind one.
Yeah, but as I was saying, whatever a movie ticket costs after this pandemic or during the pandemic, if there's movie theaters open wherever in any location where there's a movie theater that is open, I don't want to spend an expensive movie ticket, and give it to a director with such strong opinions that you're basically telling me she's basically, in my opinion, that I need to be fixed. There's something wrong with me, and
right.
Why do I want to support that? I'm sorry.
Right. I agree with. Well, I've had people say to my mom, will she get rid of it? Before I had the test. So it was like the person, first of all, when it came out like some learning disabilities, the first couple of years of my life. And it was like, well, if she has a learning disability, what are you going to do to get rid of it? Well, my mother said, well, where have you been? Because the people with learning disabilities and Down syndrome and, autism, and I'm not going to be upset anymore, because if she does have autism, we'll get her the schooling, because people were keeping babies that have Down syndrome. And my theory also is that people need to stop getting tests for Down syndrome and let it be whatever God wants the child to be, because it's not so bad. Because with babies today, Down syndrome, people with Down syndrome have a full life. And so it's not the life that you wanted for your child, or it's not the life that these doctors might have wanted, but I was brainwashed to believe that it's bad. So, you know what? As an advocate, I grew as a person because, like, you know, we live in such a prejudiced world that our thinking becomes like a certain way. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything that I was told by my wonderful mother that we're not going to fix you. We love you just the way you are, like that song. So that's the whole idea. So I bet you that if I saw that Restraint movie, I might start to cry and feel like I'm being a hypocrite in my thinking.
I had to add something real quick before we wrap up. The movie music, the director also stated, and I haven't seen any other recent articles that said that it has been fixed at the moment. The director said that she's going to cut out that she would cut out the restraint parts in the movie, and she she also said that there would be a disclaimer or a warning message on the movie for people who are that because of this movie and the message it sends. And when it was released, guess what? You know what was missing? The message. I mean the warning message and warning label was still not added. So.
Well, you need to say with these warning labels, some of the subject matter.
I'm saying those warning labels were not even there when it, and I don't think it still is there. And if it is, I'll take it back. But I haven't seen an article recently I haven't seen anything that was updated recently that says that it's now there. But it should have been there on the list.
Well, you know, the way that I deal with things, because today we have a clearer view, and the difference between people now, unfortunately, and people like myself from when I was a child, was we had a different view. And if you have good parents that, like my mom was an advocate for me, and she went to the school board a lot and complained about work that was beneath me and didn't let me get by on things, and treated me like, you know, sometimes you don't like that. You want to get off easy. But the whole idea is, she used to tell me, that's because I believe in you, because you're just like everybody else. You might have a learning disability, but then they started calling it learning difference, like in the 80s. And people stopped going to special schools. And, you know, it's a big mixed bag. Everything is a mixed bag. There's not one theory that works, you know. It's kind of like a person who has mental illness. And I'm going to say mental illness because it's up in the brain, whereas cancer and diabetes are physical problems. So, like, for example, autism is a learning disability, sort of. It's neurological in the brain. So, like with ADHD, it's the same thing. Sometimes there's drugs to regulate your brain. And there is this brain doctor out there, and I'm not making this up, but we have all these tests for physical problems, but like for autism, like they don't go around saying, oh, we need to clean our brains out right now. But what doctors really need to say is, you need to fine tune it. Like there's a doctor that actually discovers the autism brain. And I have some good reading literature because I had to be trained in these subjects, but I got interested in it because first it started in advocacy. I still am. I always remember where I started. as like a person that had bad things happen, like a restraint. And I know what it's like to feel low, but I can't harp on that because, so my opinion is that when you have a baby and they have something wrong with them, take them home and you love them and you accept them and you find ways to raise the bar instead of fixing them. And then chances are they won't end up in that situation where they're going to be restrained. Because like, if you kind of keep telling them that they have problems, they're going to end up in situations like that. And, I don't know, you hope that that this message comes out, that there are so many more positive movies to see on autism. I mean, if people want to go and take a peek and see it, I'm not a movie critic. I mean, well, kind of. I mean,
well,
like
for me, I'm not going to go see it. And two,
right.
I'm not going to watch the Golden Globes this Sunday because of the Hollywood Foreign Press of giving it 2 nominations. Will you be watching the Golden Globes this Sunday? Because I'm not.
No. I don't think so. Well, I'm not too thrilled about what's going on anyway. The movie theaters aren't open, and I don't think the choices are very good.
Slim
I think
pickings.
they're putting a bunch of movies out there just to buy time, because people need to look at The Good Doctor, that if you get a 75 to 80% chance that your child can become a doctor, that's halfway there. Like, and that's because parents are like, no, that's not going to happen. It's just for TV. No, it's based on a real story. It's based on a real story that this boy was autistic. So yes, he had challenges, but his ability, his IQ was very high, but autism faces some social challenges. And I learned to socialize, I'm like one of a kind. I mean, somebody interviewed me and they said, it's very normal to face social challenges, but then there's me. That's what they said. Why was it that I adapted so well? I don't know. Maybe I took what I could instead of feeling broken, because, I don't like when people say that mental health is a broken brain. It's a break in the brain. That sounds very derogatory, that we need to say that mental illness or autism, it's like a common cold that when you have a cold, you take medicine. Well, sometimes with mental illness, you take medication, whatever works, or you fill it up with knowledge and you get out of the ignorance game. Teach yourself the real meaning. It's with anything.
Yeah. So, I'm going to wrap up the show, and thanks for coming on and discussing this
Sure.
horrific movie called Music.
Sure.
And for people who want to learn more about the movie Music, just do your research and Google it. You can't miss it. There's so many.
If you want to hear a positive view on autism, watch the Dina movie.
Yeah, I'll watch the Dina movie. And make sure you share this episode and subscribe, and please leave me a review if you enjoyed this episode.
And keep in touch with us on our page, and also we might be doing something on mental illness and breaking the stigma that we're not broken if we have it.
Hey, no sneak peeks on my show yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm kidding. But anyway, and make sure you share this episode with your family, friends. And I'll invite you to boycott the Golden Globes with me this Sunday.
Amen.
And let's show the Hollywood foreign press that autism does not need to be fixed.
Right. Autism rocks. Different is beautiful.
We are audiostack.ai
Combining AI writing, the best synthetic voices,
with production and delivery.
Be it ads, podcasts, or VOs for video.
Just like this ad. How would you utilize AI audio? For free.
go to audiostack.ai/contest.
Give us just a few details.
And you could replace this spot and be heard by millions.
See webpage for T's and C's. audiostack.ai/contest.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.